Hi, it's Marie here from Skeins, and who can believe it, it is February already, and it is great to be back for another month and talk to you about some of the stuff that we have got going on here at Skeins. And if you've been following us on social media over the weekend, you may have noticed that our Southlander yarn has gone on to a special spotlight for the month of February. So this month is everything Southlander, and I thought I would talk to you about what is going on this month with this wonderful yarn. It's my absolute favourite all-time yarn. I completely adore it. And I've it's actually the very first yarn when I did it, my first adult project, which I was 18 years old, and I knitted myself a, you know, the classic drop-shouldered sort of round neck basic jumper, which was, you know, at the end of the day, two rectangles and two trapezoids sewn together, the easiest thing in the world. And I knitted it in Southlander DK charcoal, and honestly I thought I was the duck's nuts, the cat's pajamas. I just thought I was the bee's knees when I had finished this thing, and it seemed like it took forever, when of course it didn't. But when you're that old and it's your first big project, and up until that point I'd only attempted I'd done hats and scarves and a few other basic things over the previous however many years, but to actually do a proper full-on grown-up project, I just thought I was really all that. And I've been in love with this yarn ever since. So I have a huge soft spot for it, and it's just so nice to be able to do something with it. And we launched the new weights in Southlander towards the end of last year, and and it was all during the big hubbub of Can and everything that rolled out after that, and so we haven't really been able to give it the love that we would really like to do. So we thought, right, February, we're going to give the entire month over to Southlander. It's not going to be appearing in a certain sales event that happens next month, in every month in March, so it won't be there. If you're wanting to get Southlander at incredible pricing, you will need to do it this month. And I thought I would just sort of start and talk about just some of the things that's been going on with it, and just some ideas for you to actually, you know, start gathering that Southlander love, as it were. And I will kick things off with my wee lassie friend down here, and there she is. Isn't she lovely? Look at that. Isn't that the most gorgeous little cardigan, a gorgeous little jumper you've ever seen? And that's in the new Southlander Sport, and this is called Icefall, and it's part of the Strange Brew collection. Now, I talked about Strange Brew last year when it came out. It is the new design series from Tin Can Knits, which is of course Alexandra Ludman and Emily Vessel, and this is the book here. And I'm sorry again, I still haven't got my new camera, so everything's in reverse. So that's the Strange Brew collection there. And that particular one, the Icefall, now we've just did the wee kiddies version, but of course it's this wonderful adults version, and you can do it in multiple colours or just in two colours. And we actually did ours in two colours and just one of the charted ferrule portions as opposed to two. So it's eminently customizable, and this is the really wonderful thing about this book. I bought this book in hard copy because I just felt that there was so much in here that I would really get the value from that. But the beautiful thing about it, all these projects are available on Ravelry's individual projects, so you can go through and have a good look at the collection, decide what works for you. And so that particular one we did in the Sport, and it's just fantastic. It just looks good. It's a really lovely weight. Great for kids to wear sort of something lighter as a transitional time of year, you know, lighter, or if you're in a warmer climate. So for example, if you're in Auckland or Northland and things are much warmer there through the cooler months, you don't really want anything super heavy. That would be perfect. The lovely thing about it is that you could size it up or size it down in anywhere from the Sport to the DK to the 12 ply, and you would be absolutely golden. Which actually brings it up. I'll talk about that just a little bit actually. I have had some people say to me, you know, why Sport, why bulky, why have you done that? Because our Southlander obviously has been in our range for a long time. And our original, I think we've got 8ply/DK on our original labels. In fact, I can tell you because I've got one here. There we go, look. So that's our old label there. double knit 8 ply, and our new label. Have I got one with a new label here? No, it's not very organised. Oh yes I have. Yes I have. If I flick the label, oh yes I have. It's looking a little bit worse for wear, but there you go, and whereas that's the new label there. So, the reason we called it Sport 5 ply and bulky top ply is because what we're now finding is that a lot of newer knitters that are coming through are actually sourcing their patterns online, and a good chunk of these patterns are, I mean, the problem is the terminology. There's British terminology, North American terminology. There's so many different ways that you can interpret a pattern, and more often the ones that are available online, particularly through Ravelry, are using a North American terminology. So we're starting to try and put both terminologies on there. So if you're sourcing a pattern online or something like this strange brew, you're able to easily substitute your yarns in and out. If you're always struggling to substitute your yarns, never be afraid to ask us, because that's what we're here for. But what we did with the sport weight is when we did our testing on the sport weight, one of the things that we discovered is that traditionally when we manufacture this yarn, which is a nice little 2-fold twist, so this essentially is our DK, but just 2 of those folds, not the 3, to create this yarn. But because this fibre is so beautiful and zingy and vibrant, we really did struggle to get it down to that classic 4-ply tension. And it's the same in the DK. On our original DKs, we have our tension listed here at 20 stitches to 10 centimetres, and it's because of this really wonderfully vibrant fibre. So we thought we'd actually just call it for what it is. So it is just, having those 3 weights means that you now have a yarn, essentially a yarn that will fit any need that you may have. So if you're seeing sport weight patterns or even some finer weight patterns and you're wanting something smaller, it's not quite as fine as some of the Shetland yarns that you will get out, but it's close enough that you should be able to adapt, which is fantastic. So you can adapt those for a feral pattern all the way through to our DK weight, which will comfortably do an hour and 10 ply up to 5mm needle, no problems whatsoever. And then the bulky 12 ply, we've actually knitted, and I brought this in to show you, we actually knitted this fantastic swatch there, and that's the 12 ply knitted from 4mm at the bottom all the way up to 6mm at the top, to actually show you, even with that cover factor all the way through, how versatile that yarn can be. So going all the way through up to 6mm will actually cover some 14 ply and chunky patterns if they're at the bottom end. So there is loads of flexibility with this incredibly versatile yarn. So to that end, I first thought I would show you that little sample we have in the shop with the sport weight, but the other yarn I wanted to, the other project I wanted to show you out of the Strong Brew book before I pop it away, is that one there. I'll just bring that in nice and close. Isn't that gorgeous? Now that is the Mountain Mist. Now they also have a beanie that matches with that pattern as well. Now imagine that in, and oh, there it is. I mean, imagine that and this. Look at those. Absolutely beautiful. You may notice this one is still in a hank. These are the last of our hanks. Once this oatmeal has moved through in the hanks, we'll be commissioning another batch of oatmeal, which will be moving across into these wonderfully convenient balls. The other good news is once these move through and we go to the next batch, they will also be done, oatmeal will be done in sport weight and in bulky as well, which is great because we're really missing this. But unfortunately we'd just done a batch of this before we decided to go to the others, so hence the reason why this one's taking a bit longer. So yeah, I think these are great. Best thing ever, no winding, fantastic. And that colour work, being able to do that stranded colour work, and you may have seen on her, on the previous little sample, it just sits beautifully and it holds really, really well. It's, you know, it's great. It really is fantastic. So next I wanted to show you is my progress with my cardigan here, which is the pop prop cardigan. So that's the back there, and as you can see, I am chugging along with the sleeves. Really happy how that is going. Fit wise, it's going great. Of course, this is going to look dreadful in my pink top, but as you can see, the fit is bang on, which is awesome. So that's what I was hoping to get with that. It was a really good fit. If you're wanting to know about that knit along, that's all happening over on the Skeins Speakeasy. So you still, if you haven't joined in on that yet, that is still going until the end of this month. The Pop Crop Cardigan by Amber O'Brien is the knitting project. The Sunday Shawl is the crochet project. However, if you're not, I've had a lot of people sort of like, I've finished the projects, or they're sort of wanting to move on to other things. I've got some great news for you. Do post those up. I want to see what you're up to, because we've got prizes for both those projects, but we're now putting together prize packs for people that are posting other things through this month as well. And the wonderful Jeanette Talbot, who's a member in the Speakeasy, has reached out and she's sending us 2 of the most beautiful project bags that she has made to actually create some prizes for non-crochet along and knit along projects, which I think is incredibly generous. So thank you, Jeanette, and we will put other bits and pieces with that as well to add to those prizes, which is wonderful. And also too, the other knit along that's going along at the moment is the Kanga Kiwi knit along in crochet along. Now, if you're not familiar with that, that is run by the Wool Gathering, which is in Australia, and the wonderful Karen Peor. And Karen is has this wonderful event across there. She's absolutely a lovely lady, and this event is awesome because you're able to knit. If you work on any project, which essentially is an Australasian designer, so a New Zealand or Australian designer, using New Zealand or Australian yarn, whether it be indie dyed or commercially manufactured, it doesn't really matter, but as long as it's from a local... Oh, sorry, but my son is at school. He's trying to ring his mother. Don't you love it? Anyway, you can actually join into that knit along. It's over on Ravelry, and she also has a Facebook page at the Wool Gathering. Wool Gathering also on Ravelry, and she has got some incredible prizes across there. The great news is every Skeins yarn is eligible, with the exception of Opal Sock because it's made in Germany. But everything else that we do, even if it's not our branded yarn, often we've made it anyway. So it's really easy. If you've got Skeins Stash, you're pretty much good to go. And as most of the designers we highlight Australasian designers anyway, so if you're wanting to get in on a bit of fun, do that as well, and make sure you post over on that Wool Gathering knit along as well as ours. Dual post it, because you get 2 chances to win. You get a chance to win with me and a chance to win with Karen, so do make sure you join in that fun. Now, the last but not least, I didn't tell you the good news about the Southlander. The good news about the Southlander is that at the moment with Southlander, we have Southlander available on special just this month. So the sport weight, which is 100 grams, is going to be available for $5.95 for the month, and the 200 gram balls, which is the DK and the bulky, is available for $10.95, which is $4 a ball off. So if you need to stock up or get some projects going, do make sure you do that. That beautiful little sample that I showed you before, you can knit that for less than $20, excluding the cost of the pattern. So great value. So I'm going to head off now, and I'm going to whip out a newsletters to keep you up to date with everything that's going on. I'll make sure that I pop the links into the video when I'm done, and I will catch up with you again next week. See you then. Bye.